my name is Alicja Kwade. I'm a Berlin-based artist and happy to be in New York right now. Very much, I think, what influenced me for sure is like, physics, philosophy, very much, mostly. Since I was super young, I always felt this deep desire to try to understand why I'm here, what that is about. And this is, of course, the biggest and oldest and most complicated question we do have. So yeah, there's a very, magical beauty in it to know that there's actually nothing. I mean, there's not much, actually, if you think about it. It's, just kind of a couple of atoms flying around, and even there, they're quite empty. So there is not much there, and it leads to this beautiful, it's like, it's probably like, being kind of sucked in a Malevich painting or something, right? It all leads to this beautiful void. It's also like a reflection of ourselves, I feel like, because in the end, we have no idea. It's like there is no answers, we have no idea, and we will never get. And this is like, leading to this beautiful abstraction. This is abstraction, actually. We have no clue. It's just like a blank, big void. My most important teacher, difficult question, possibly life, as stupid as it sounds. But no, I mean, I would say in an artist's life, there's like many teachers you do have. And probably the first one was my dad, actually, who was an art historian and who was very much pushing me to do what I'm doing right now. The second possibly was a very good friend of my father's. He had this artist named Rudi. It was a Polish painter. And so I kind of been very much introduced to the idea what that could be to be an artist. And then Lothar Baumgarten, I had the pleasure to have a couple of meetings with him and to talk about my work, which was also very helpful because he had a very disciplined, very conceptual kind of point of view. I was deeply in love with Rebecca Horn, who was a teacher in Art Academy. So I had the honor to talk to her a couple of times and to show her my works. Yes, I would say that has been my teachers on my way for now. But I'm still learning, So there's always new teachers coming. You're not becoming an artist. It's not something you choose. It's not something you kind of decide about. It's more that you are an artist. And if life is allowing you to do that as your practice on a daily basis, you are doing that. If life is not allowing you that, you are still an artist. It's just that you're not probably practicing as much as you would like. But also because of my background, of course, where I've been raised, what my parents did. And my dad was running a gallery back then in socialistic Poland. So that was something which was quite around myself. And so I kind of never questioned that I'm going to be an artist. I would say that was Gordon Matta-Clark. When I been introduced to his work, I was just shocked, like in a positive way, because I had no clue that is what art can be as well. And this energy and this kind of approach and what he did, that was definitely like a step in my life where I was like, it was like an eye-opener. But of course, there've been also many different other artists, like Robert Smithson, for sure. This is so long ago that I don't really remember when I've seen the first physical work of his, but I remember that I got to meet his work during a lecture, and I bought myself all the books and everything I could kind of, reach out to. There was a Rauschenberg piece, actually, which I've seen when I was probably 13 or 14 years old. But it's an art piece where you are meant to take a piece out of a box and replace it with yours. It's like, so it was like lipsticks and stuff, so that was kind of the purpose of the piece. Not many people know that, actually. And I knew it because I've been studying what he was doing and stuff, so I went in this museum and I just pointed to the work straightforward, and I touched it, and people, of course, being super upset, what. So that was also like a great moment. It was not just the art piece itself, but also how it's treated and where it goes and what art is doing and where it comes from. And that was this moment where like those two kind of ideas collided, you know, like in this museum, me trying to do what the artist's intentions was to do. But I also like, to be honest, yeah, I'm still in love with Michelangelo. I mean, I love what he did, you know, it's like just looking at it, just looking at this marble, it's kind of incredible to believe that a human being was able to carve that out. I mean, I've been just, as I said, to MoMA yesterday, and I've seen Jack Whitten's exhibition. And to be honest, I have to admit, I didn't know about him or his work at all. But yesterday I felt like blessed. I was like, okay, somebody gave me this gift. Thank you for that. And I was just stunned. The scale and those kind of city maps and this even glitter, I mean, and then, but you pass by and think it's like kind of lights in a city or something. And it's very beautiful and touching. I think probably the first book, which was science fiction, but it was very influential for me, but I was super young when I've been reading it, is probably Huxley's Brave New Worlds. That was probably the first thing where I've been like, oh my God. Then there's another book which I adore, and I was also reading quite early. It's called Flatland. It's a critique on society, of the British society, but it's the world described from the point of view of a square. Then there's a beautiful philosopher, Elena Esposito. She was writing a book which was very important to me, like about 15 or 20 years ago. In German, it's Die Fiktion der möglichen Realität, or something like the fiction of the possible real, or something like that. So she's kind of, you know, looking at, yeah, circumstances and what we describe as real or not. I mean, also like Stephen Hawking's, actually, which I was probably reading 5 times to really make sure that I understand it. You know, everybody seems to know better than yourself, right? So, you know, you have gallerists, you have this people, and everybody is telling you what to do and what the strategy is. And I remember I was never getting the point even. I was like, what is the strategy? I don't have a strategy. It's like, I just do what I do, right? So, I mean, I would do it anyways. I have no clue if I ever influenced anything. It's not something I really can focus on or something. It's something which possibly is happening in best case, and I think what possibly is happening or what I would wish to happen is like, you know, to question things. It's like, because things are not for certain, things are not given. There is not such a thing like a truth or reality. It's not that things are not solid. Everything is very, very kind of, you know, flexible and fluid and not true, actually, somehow. But it's not such a thing like, you know, being an American or being a German or being a Polish or being this or that, or even being a female or man. I'm not so sure about it. You know, it's like we are all sharing 99.9 of the same DNA. It's not, it's quite the same story. So I don't know what, if I ever influenced something or not, but if I could have the choice to do that, I would be happy to, yeah, just to awake the awareness that things are not how they look like. What we are and where we live, it's a daily agreement on it. It's a daily confirmation of it. So if you do it, if you accept it, it is what you create, and that is the reality you are living in. Try to feel well being self-confident about what you do and knowing that it's important. It's not like a fun thing for spoiled kids, you know? It's a very deep human need, I think, what artists are doing. And that's why I think we are important. And I think it's good to know and be aware of this importance and being proud to be that. I think what is also super important is like, yeah, to be very true to yourself, to be very honest, you know? It's really something I think you have to feel like, this is 100% what I stand behind.